The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. Sorry about my voice. Captain Ibrahim Traore has become a symbol to us in Africa and in the diaspora. These people have succeeded in always fabricating issues when it comes to our leaders in Africa. The good ones, not those that they are praising, not those democratic elected, that are only there to do the bid of Yolo Papa because they have been kept there by them. So they have no other option than to serve their masters. No. We saw that these people are doing everything possible to brand our leaders in a very negative way, simply because they are doing the right thing, trying to make sure the African gets his sovereignty. According to her, he's never a dictator. He's a leader who is standing up to these people. He's not stealing the resources to protect himself. He came through a military coup to save his people, to make sure that the people get their sovereignty, that what belongs to the citizens in Burkina Faso, they have full access to it. And they didn't come into office through that system that these people always fund to choose who becomes the leader that they can easily manipulate. That Traore is doing amazingly well. He's doing everything for his people, moving away from foreign influence, taking power to the people in Burkina Faso. We saw that the democratic elected, how they ruled, and what they have done to the nation. The people are living in poverty and they don't care, like what is happening in all the democratic elected countries. We are suffering, yet just a selective few are enjoying.
So desperate to get rid of him. According to Western officials, Traore is a gold-thieving warlord clinging to power in Burkina Faso, a Western African nation they claim he's running into the ground. Well, just last month, U.S. General Michael Langley, let me show you his picture here, the commander for the U.S. African Command, he testified before Congress claiming Traore is stealing gold and using it to protect himself and his regime, as if using the national bank account for protection and the military is somehow criminal when our own government just upped the defense budget to $1 trillion. But anyway, here's the part they leave out. Ibrahim Traore is not a dictator. He's a 37-year-old military captain who came to power in 2022, not through some elite Western-funded election, but by leading a popular military coup backed by everyday people in his country. Why? Well, because the previous government had completely failed to defend the country against jihadist terror groups who, by the way, largely were formed after the violent U.S.-backed overthrow of Gaddafi. Not only that, but the leaders were actually laundering money for self-enrichment on the side, which is no surprise. So the people of Burkina Faso grew tired of being poor in one of the most resource-rich regions on earth. They were tired of French and American influence, tired of so-called leaders who actually took orders from Paris and Washington. And Traore, a young, unapologetically African and deeply nationalist man, became a symbol of resistance because of it. And what the West can't stand is this.
Those imperialists consider that we belong to them and our wealth also belongs to them. They think that they are the ones who must continue to tell us what is good for our states. Africa, our continent that suffered so much because of the imperialists. This era is gone forever. Our resources will remain for us and our populations.
Yeah. These are the words of a man who knows exactly what's at stake. Now, since taking power, Traore has cut military ties with France. He's expelled French troops and demanded control over his country's gold, land, and future. He's rebuilt roads, made education free, and never raised his own salary in the process. He has kept his captain's salary from the military. He's also partnered with China and Russia, and for that, the empire has tried to destroy him. He's already survived multiple assassination attempts and several coup plots to remove him, and the smear campaigns are nonstop. Now, Western media calls him erratic, paranoid, even dangerous, but why wouldn't you be when you're the African David standing up to the old colonial Goliath? And here's what the media won't show you. Across Africa and around the world, millions upon millions of people of African descent are cheering him on, from Paris to Harlem to Port-au-Prince. There have been mass rallies in solidarity with him, and chants of colonizers get out, France get out.
Now the narrative is clear that these people can no longer use that old tactics on us that will always stand up against the good leaders that we have. We saw that when it happened, even our leaders in Africa were all singing the songs of Yolo Popo, and that has always been. But thanks to social media, now we can educate ourselves to know the truth. And that is why always we say that these media houses that we have locally and outside of the continent are all controlled by Yolo Popo. But when you come to social media, you decide what you want to feed your system with. We don't decide what you should do in your respective countries, but people can just sit there and tell us that this person is this simply because the person is not allowing them to intimidate them. And this is what is happening in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. Ever since they came, we've seen the achievements. We, the Africans, can now sing. We can now talk. The black color is now being respected. They are moving away from the West to Russia. And Russia is helping them develop in every aspect, giving us the sovereignty. All that we need is sovereignty. When we are sovereign and we can control everything on our soil, Africans don't need to go and be dying on the Mediterranean Sea. Even though things are still this way, we still do not need to go out. We have leaders who claim they are Pan-Africans and they are thinking about the development of their countries, yet they allow Cambridge to come and organize exams for their final year students to take out the brilliant ones out of the country to UK. Then you go out and say how you are doing everything possible to change the narrative in Africa. It can only be done in the democratic elected. The chaffs that they don't want is what should be left in Africa. Are we serious as a people? These are the things that Captain Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goita, and Abdurrahman Chani, our two generals, are fighting against. And they are after them. So now there is no way these people can manipulate us against our good leaders. This is amazing that everybody is joining in this freedom song. They have left their problems and they are talking about Africa. We will win. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world. In the United States of America,